Hello. This is Caitlin Domke, or I go by Katie. So, today we're just going to be looking at CSC 313's first assignment, which is the spinning donut. The prompt is to modify the donut shape, adjust the program to render different 3D shapes such as a spinning sphere or a cylinder instead of a torus. Experiment with different radii and transformations to project new shapes onto the 2D plane. So first, we're just going to be looking at the code and IntelliJ, seeing it run, hopefully, run successfully. And then we're going to look at the code in the Word document just to go over what parts that we changed and just the nitty-gritty details of it just shortly. So first, let's go to IntelliJ. And we've got about 90 lines of code, including the white space, of course, but I'm going to just have a brief look at it just to see it. And my partner for this was Jeremy. So we're just gonna run this, and hopefully see our shape come to fruition. So we see it spinning, and we've got sort of a sphere shape going on. There we're going to be talking about brightness, with some characters being used for the lighter portions of the shape, and some being shown for different portions of the shape. So it just kind of spins a little bit as it keeps going. It's a bit choppy in IntelliJ, just as the viewer, just as a disclaimer, I guess. It's a bit choppy. But let's move on to the Word document with the code. Just gonna move over the Word document. Now we have the code that we got from the textbook highlighted in blue. And then we have the one line of code that we changed in yellow, which just ended up being that we removed R1 or radius 1. I'll talk about that up here. So we have some notes that still say donut, but we're going to apply that to our shape, which is more of a sphere in this context. So we have the parameters, which is just the width and height. We have the rotation angles about the X and Z axes. We have the scale of the shape of our sphere. And then the shape change. So this plural has radii, but we didn't end up using R1 necessarily. So it ended up only using R2. R1 is more of, if you kept it as a donut, you would have that small hole in the center. Now for the brightness that I was talking about earlier with some characters. So some characters take up more of the space, so they end up looking a bit brighter. And some don't take up as much space, so it looks a bit darker. So we're using that. The top of the sphere had more characters like these. The darker parts of the sphere had more characters like the earlier portion of this array. Now we have this condition while loop that just continues going to keep our donut or sphere or any shape spinning. We have the for loop that keeps everything blacked out on the screen besides the shape. We have the spacing. We have what establishes this shape, which in our case was just a sphere, and we just needed to remove the center of the donut. So we just removed R1. Then we have these that establish the 3D coordinates after rotation and establish the motion. And then we have this part, this lower part, that just has the desired speed that you could set. So that's our overview of assignment 1. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whenever you're seeing this. And thank you.